Hello, peoples. The other day I saw Kraven the Hunter. I did not get a chance to check this out opening weekend, but nor was I really in a rush. I did have tickets to go, and then reviews came out, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going till Monday. So I checked it out on Monday, and here it is. What is it? Wednesday? Wednesday, right? No, Thursday. Um, and yeah, honestly, half this movie left my brain. I remembered this movie being boring, super boring, like really boring. I remember thinking that it's not nearly as like cringy or laughable as people were leading me to think it was. I was kind of like getting in there like ready to watch like, another Madam Web where I can kind of laugh my way through the movie, which made Madam Web like entertaining in its own way. But this is just really bland, boring, forgettable, and honestly, the version of Madam Web that is just like, why even bother, I would much rather watch Madam Web again. Like, Madam Web is a worse movie because it makes less sense, but this is just boring. And it still doesn't make sense. So I don't know how they managed to pull that off. There's some cringy stuff in this movie. It makes you cringe, particularly with the Rhino character. People complain about his design a lot because people like, oh, let's complain about the Rhino character, but I don't think his design looked that bad. Honestly, it's like, how do you make that work in a movie that's live action? So I mean, I thought the design itself was fine. People complain about the CGI a lot. I mean, yeah, it was bad at moments, but it wasn't like atrociously bad. The filmmaking here was nothing. I mean, some moments with the CGI, but most of the faults of this movie when it comes to filmmaking is the screenplay. The screenplay to this is literally AI generated. It feels AI generated. It doesn't feel like anybody cared making this movie. I think that's the fundamental issue with this one. Nobody cared. No, people who were here and did a good job, they were here for the paycheck. Like, Aaron Taylor Johnson was fine in the movie. He was there for the paycheck, though. Russell Crowe is trying to have fun, but, he was there for the paycheck. The filmmaking team, I don't believe that anybody really this passionate was behind this movie. I don't believe it. I believe that everybody just is like, it's out, and I don't think there's a single person behind this team that's like, yeah, we nailed it, guys. I don't, warm, fuzzy feeling that, at least they tried. I don't feel that. The biggest example is how the ADR was handled in this movie. I thought Madam Web was bad with ADR, but this is a whole other level of not caring. I've made a few, student films, my own little things that I like to do. And in my most recent short film, I think I have more convincing ADR. And I'm like being so serious right now. So serious. I've had people I've had a good amount of people watch my short film at this point. And I always like save notes for feedback. And in my movie before that, people have said sometimes the ADR was a little obvious. My most recent one, and I'm a student filmmaker. There's ADR in it. No one said a word, and it's my most viewed short film. Not a peep, not a peep. And guess what? I watched back, and I don't even remember what parts I ADR'd. Watching Kraven the Hunter, a professionally made Hollywood movie, I am just blown away by how bad it is. There's moments where like their lips are moving different ways and it's close up and different words, or whenever they keep on doing this technique that they think is genius, we're going to cut to a wide, but we can still see the silhouettes in their mouth because they're talking this way. So I promise I didn't just talk about my short film as an example to like gas me up. I did it as a way of saying ADR isn't that difficult, particularly when you have a Hollywood, blockbuster budget. But they just didn't care. They did not care. They think that we're idiots and we'll just eat it up because they think it's comic book movies. And, in a way I did because, I still went to the theaters and saw it. But hey, I'm a little different. I'm a cinephile. I guess I don't count. Just kidding. I totally do. I'm part of the problem. Atrocious. The R rating was wasted. There's no, all the cool R rated type of gore, type of fun stuff you would expect out of this movie. It's all in the trailer. It's all in the Red Band trailer. It's, they don't really have fun with the R rating. It doesn't feel justified. Honestly, it was the most passive R rating of all time. Yeah, I would let an 11-year-old watch this movie. Maybe there's like a few like F bombs or something like that, but blood wise, it was just like just tacked on. I mean, there was a few moments where you kind of go like, oh, but it was nothing like beyond nuts. I mean, I could keep on complaining about stuff, but in all honesty, like, basically everything in this movie is pretty bad. Not good. There's some, moments that are fine. That's the best thing I could say about the movie. There's some funny moments. There's actually quite a fun moment in a office with Kraven with a crossbow. That I remember that scene. That was fun. Besides that, it's cliche, forgettable schlock that put an end to this disastrous Sony universe that we've been praying to end ever since it started. So yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 3.4 out of 10, the same exact score I gave Madam Web, but you know, Madam Web's a worse movie, but that was more funny, so I think they kind of balance each other out. It's crazy. I haven't seen as many movies this year as I have the last few years, just because busyness and also the fact that, you know, 2024 movies aren't all that. When you look at my bottom of the list of this year, I think, you know, all three of the Sonyverse movies are in the, I'm pretty sure, the bottom five, and that's just new levels of sad. Just wow, they just went out on like literally the most sour note you could possibly imagine. You know, let's hope that 2025 is a time for new beginnings for the comic books genre. You know, we got this Sony's done as far as I'm concerned. You know, let's hope Captain America is fine. I don't have much hope for that project, but it's honestly post Captain America that where I'm looking forward to. You know, Big Thunderbolts looks good. Superman trailer came out today. I thought that looked great. Fantastic Four should be pretty solid. I'm optimistic about where we're going. Comment down below what you guys thought of Kraven the Hunter, if you saw it, because nobody else did except for like me and 3 other people. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that. And adios.